informal thing, but I'll give a little bit of a spiel, and you got to put up with that for the free pizza, so, you know. But I want to introduce, we got some celebrities with us, I call them, and April Palmer, who is a candidate, well, she's already the county auditor, but she's a candidate for re-election. We're going to be supporting her. Milton Deschaines, who's a candidate for county board out in the Coal Valley area. Karen Kenny, who is the county clerk. And luckily doesn't have to face re-election for a couple more years anyway. And the same thing with Louisa Ewert. She's the county treasurer. You're not up this time either. You're safe for a little while. That's good. We're all great. We want to keep our county strong. So that's one of the reasons I'm running for state senator, because we know that the Republicans are on a roll here. They think that they're going to pick up a lot more county board seats. Guys like Milton are going to stop them cold there. They think that, you know, they're going to eventually move into the county offices. That won't work. We've got too many great office holders and candidates for that. But we know they picked up my old House seat. It was a marginal seat. It was only 51% Democratic. Luckily, I won with bigger margins than that, but as soon as I retired, why, they moved in and picked it up. So we know that they think they're on a roll. They think they're going to pick up the Senate seat, and that's one of the reasons I'm running, because we're going to stop them cold there. We want to make sure that they don't pick up that Senate seat. And I think I have the best chance of keeping it. Not only have I had a long, successful record of winning re-election to the State House 8 times, and several primaries plus general elections. A few years back, I was the #2 target of the Republicans in the State House, and they put $700,000 trying to beat me. All negative stuff from August clear through November, and it brought me down 2 percentage points. So we think that they won't be able to knock me out this time as well. We think that we can keep this seat safe. But it's more than just keeping it safe for the Democrats. We want to have a Democrat in there who is really a Democrat, who's going to do things that we as grassroots Democrats believe in. All of you that are here, things like protecting American jobs. For example, I passed legislation that says that none of our $50 billion that we spend every year in the state budget can be used to buy goods that are made by child labor in foreign countries. None of that $50 billion can also, I passed another bill, that none of that $50 billion can be used to buy goods made by political and religious prisoners in places like China. Because most of us don't know this. In fact, I didn't know it until I was contacted by a young man who had escaped from China. If some of you older ones might remember the Tiananmen Square massacre, where the Chinese dictators brought in the tanks and crushed these students who wanted to create a democracy. And anyway, I was contacted by one of these persons who escaped, and he told me there's 20 million people in China who are in forced work camps, not because they committed some crime, not because they're burglars or murderers or anything, but because they were passing out Bibles, or they were trying to form a labor union, or they were petitioning for democracy, that type of thing. And then they send those goods over to the United States, and a lot of us, we buy the stuff, we don't even know, what it is. So I passed legislation that said at least none of our $50 billion that you and I pay in taxes can go for that type of thing. And one of the bills that I'm really proud of, I had a young man, I don't know if many of you know him, named Rob Moon. And Rob is a great young guy. I helped him get through college. Now he's a deputy sheriff up in Cook County, but he wants to come back to this area sometime. And I know he's trying to get on with the sheriff here. But anyway, Rob told me about something. He said, a lot of the caskets that are coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq, the flags on those caskets are made in China. That really kind of hit me. I said, really? So we did a little research, we found out it was true. So I'm not a federal officer, so I can't do anything about that. But what I did do was I passed legislation that says that all the flags that fly on Illinois public buildings, if they're a local government or a state government, they have to be made in America. So at least we can do that. And of course, we have a business right here in Rock Island that makes flags, so it's kind of a double good thing there. So that's some of the things I did for labor. I also have been very interested in the environment and the energy issues. And so I passed legislation, for example, that all the new vehicles that the state of Illinois buys for its government have to be either flex fuel, biodiesel, or hybrid. And I live my values. Mary and I have 2 cars, and both of those cars are hybrids. And believe me, they're great cars too. One is a Chevy and one is a Ford, so you can get them in either company. I also passed legislation that as the old lighting wears out in all of the state buildings, the state of Illinois government buildings have to be replaced by what they call Energy Star or LED lighting. LED stands for light emitting diodes. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know all the ramifications of that. But those type of bills, and incidentally, another one was to say that every new building that the state government pays for, or if we pay for 40% of the renovation, let's just pretend some school needs a 40% renovation, and the state is going to pay for that much of it, then that has to be what they call LEED standards, leadership in energy and environmental design. And that's not only good for the environment, it's good for the employees who work there, because they found that in those type buildings, people have better health, they're more motivated to come to work, it's a pleasanter type of place. So those are some of the areas that I passed in the energy and environmental area. I also have passed legislation in many other fields. I'm a kind of a guy that I get interested in something, and I try to solve that problem if I can. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a spiel. I don't want to bore you with a long political speech or anything, but just want to give you a little bit. And before I quit also, I also want to introduce my wife, Mary, who is the State Central Committee woman. She's the best vote getter in the family. She wins her elections 2-1, so I win them maybe a little over 50%. She wins them 2-1. So anyway, thank you all for coming, and I know people will be coming and going, so feel free, but have as much pizza as you want. It's Harris Pizza, thanks to our great friends, the Laborers 309. I also won the endorsement recently of the what they call IVI, it's the Independent Voters of Illinois. So we're going to be able to, we go into that general election, we're going to be able to not only win the Democrats' vote, we're going to be able to win the Independents' vote and keep these Republicans off at bay, so they don't get any more good ideas, So thank you all very much for coming. Thank you.